Tom Fagione with you here as we get set to bring you the weekly trail report. Sponsored by Richard's Army Surplus, 264 East Main Street in Port Jervis. The weekly trail report is our way of bringing the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis events and activities to you. Listen to us live every Friday morning at facebook.com/Tom Fagione. You can listen to us on YouTube Live as well, and we are going to be making this recording available for download throughout the day. So come and join us every Friday morning as we bring you an update on the events and activities associated with the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis. That includes special daytime hikes, always very exciting, that moonlight full moon hike, and as well as mountain bike activities and events for all people. So join us every morning, or check that every Friday morning, as we bring you the outdoor report, trail report for the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis. Join me, Mike Ward, president of the Outdoor Club, along with our good buddy Chip, as we talk all things related to the trails in the watershed region of Port Jervis. Joining me, as every morning on Fridays, Mike Ward, the president of the Outdoor Club, along with our good buddy Chip. Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning, Tom.
Good
How
morning,
are you?
Tom.
Oh, man, it's great to get the band back together.
Back
It's
again.
awesome. We're reunited.
Indeed. So we moved
Don't
the venue
go into
a little.
a song.
We moved the venue just a little bit, but it's all good. This is the Army Surplus Store, one of the proud sponsors of the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis. And we're coming to you live on Facebook. We're also coming to you live on YouTube. And we're making a recording right now that'll be available to download at any time that you want to listen to this. So good morning, guys. Thanks so much for being part of the new show. We had a lot of success in our previous entries, and we wanted to keep this going alive. So, guys, how you been?
I'm super.
Doing great, Tom. Thanks.
We'll touch on the personal subjects in just a moment. As if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook Live, you can see that Mike is a little banged up. Now, Mike, you have a neck collar on.
I didn't do it.
Mike's wearing a neck brace. Mike, this is not from anything that happened on the trails.
No. I've been developing problems with my arm where I was losing control of it, had no sensations in it. So they did some cervical spine surgery on it. Now it's back 100%.
So you're ready to
I'm ready to go.
Conquer
but they
the
won't let
trails.
me do it for 12 weeks.
12 weeks,
12
Mike, is
weeks.
going to be laid up. So that means that guys like Chip and so many of the other volunteers are really going to have to step up.
Yes, indeed. It'd be nice.
Towing the line, so to speak. Towing the line.
Well, that's what's good about the Outdoor Club. We have a lot of good people involved with the Outdoor Club and the trails, and so we want to make sure that is that even though Mike is not able to run the chainsaw and hew out all those trails, he's got good people that are there helping out.
Oh, this gives me a good time to work out all of our plans. We have so much planned right now. I've had more communications while I was in the hospital than you can imagine.
I wonder if we're going to regret this, Chip.
I don't know.
You guys
I
are
think he welcomes this opportunity.
Yeah,
right
you guys
now.
are going to love it. You're
Sure.
going to love it because I'm going to drag you two into it.
Well, Mike, you've been such a great steward of the Outdoor Club as the president, showing great leadership and guidance. We just wish you the best, and we
thank
know
you.
that 12 weeks for you might be 12 months for someone else.
That's exactly it. I'm antsy to get out there right now.
Well, it's good to have you here. It's good to have Chip here. Let's jump right into it. Let's start right in. Everyone's been talking about the hurricane that's going to impact the South and is impacting North and South Carolina right now. We seem to be in our own little vortex of rain here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not anything near what people are dealing with down in North Carolina. But can you give us an update on the conditions of the trails, considering all the rain that we've seemed to be? It seems almost every day there's rainstorms in the area.
Yes, indeed. And it's fortunately the weather has been so weird during the summer that the fortunate side of that is that all the weak trees that have been up there, the weakly rooted trees have come down, and there's very few coming down right now. But as the storm progresses up our way, and the latest track I saw showed we will get the remnants of it Monday night, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And if that's true and we get a load of rain, just be very careful out there. There'll be some ponding, of course, but when there's a lot of rain, the trees do have a softened base. And if there's any wind associated, always look up. don't just look down. Look up.
It's funny when we think of rain, of course, everyone thinks of mud puddles and muddy conditions, but that's not always the case on those trails there. Like you said,
they're
it's
very well trained.
and it's also the canopy above holds off the water.
Yes.
But there's also leaves and underbrush you have to watch out for.
Oh, sure. But mostly in the woods, what you're looking for is not so much a tree coming down, but those dead limbs are hung up in the trees, especially now when there's so much leafage up there. You can't really see it, and then the winds blow and they come down.
Yeah. But otherwise, all in all, the conditions are good up there. And
Very good. Very good. The trails are coming along very well. The new trails are really moving along well.
now, you mentioned new trails. We're going to talk about the events coming up this weekend, but let's talk about Wednesdays, because Wednesdays have been a spectacular day for the outdoor club.
Sure has. And anybody that's interested in learning how to build trails or just want to get out there and give us a hand, come on out on Wednesdays. Look for us on our website or on Facebook. We tell you where. Generally speaking, it's always at Brewers Reservoir, which is Reservoir 1, Old Reservoir 1. We meet with Adam Hubbard. Adam Hubbard is our master designer and trail builder, and he's working very hard on a new trail right now that I'm dying to get out there. If the doctors would just let me go out and check it out, I'm waiting to
12
see.
weeks isn't going to happen.
But they've been working really hard on this trail. We've got so many other trails being planned right now that we're going to be up there near the 55, 60 mile range.
It's incredible.
Wow, that's awesome.
Now, Chip, you've been, of course, not only a steward in terms of your embracing and enjoying the outdoor club and the trails, but you're an ambassador for the club. What's been new in your world in terms of the trails, and have you participated in any of these We Dig Wednesdays or other volunteer times?
I have not participated in a We Dig Wednesday. However, I will make it a point to get to a We Dig Wednesday. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to the day I meet everyone at Reservoir Road and go up to the top secret location for the new trail that's being built. So, that being said, I've been on a couple of guided hikes with DJ Birch, and interesting fact, at the tail end of one of these hikes, there was a group of bikers at the kiosk.
Now, when we say bikers, we're not talking motorcyclists.
No, we're talking mountain bikers with the bicycles. They were at the kiosk looking for a path to get to a certain route, and DJ saw this and he went over to them and started talking to them. And of course, he's very knowledgeable about the routes and the trails, and he assisted. But I think what was great about it was, as I'm standing there listening to him assist these biking guys with their routes, they said they were from Scranton. They came from Scranton to come to Port Jervis to be in the watershed trails to experience the trails with their mountain bikes. And one of the guys said to DJ that the trail system we have here in Port Jervis is awesome. And he referenced another trail in Vermont that they usually go to. They prefer to come to Port Jervis and use the trails here. Honest story, it happened.
No, I've been in bike shops in Orange County, and the same thing has been told. There are other trail systems in the area, including one out by Stewart and the McDade Trail in Milford. The McDade Trail is a great trail, but it's flat. And it's nice, and you could take your kids out there, you could take a baby stroller out there, and if you're just getting into mountain biking, it's really, I've been on it. It's nice to ride your bike because you're not going to fall over. But the trails that the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis have assembled, they are aggressive. There are some that are really a lot of fun. And saying that doesn't mean that you can't go up there and explore if you're an amateur, and just go on up and have a lot of fun. And in doing so, Mike, let's talk about it. What's coming up? It's weekend. What's going on up on the trails this weekend?
This weekend, I've been out of touch pretty much, but as far as I know in what I sent out earlier in the week, that we've got our usual Saturday morning runs. That starts at Brewers Reservoir at 9 a.m. Let's see, we've got Farmers Market on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sunday, I don't think we have anything planned, do we, Chip?
I don't think there's anything slated for Sunday.
No. Coming up soon will be the full moon hike, though. I'm going to be in shape for that.
And Mike, when's that going to happen?
I believe that's September 24th.
September 24th. Let's talk about the full moon hike just a little bit, because of all the things that the outdoor club puts on and presents, that one seems to be gaining in popularity, and it seems that it opens up an opportunity for people of all ages and all skill sets to go up and explore the trails.
Oh, very much so. And we vary it month to month as to where we go. This month will be Elks Brox Park, which is always great to do. People are so surprised to see the city, an overview of the city at night. And if it happens to be that cloudy night where you can't see the moon, at least you can see the city, and it's a beautiful view up there.
Really beautiful view. I've been on several full moon hikes, and from the mountaintop, looking down on the city of Port Jervis and even into Pennsylvania, across the river, it's an awesome sight to see.
And the great thing about the Full Moon Hike is, like so many of the other activities that the Outdoor Club presents, how much does it cost to take the hike?
They're free.
Free.
Always free.
And that's right. Don't bring any money except the money you want to donate to the club. But you come on out, and Mike will lead the way. Mike, you're going to be ready to lead that Full Moon Hike?
I'm sure going to try. I just have to convince my wife it's going to be okay.
All right, got to get through the boss, number one.
Yes,
we
indeed.
won't tell the doc then, will we?
No.
That's harder than cutting those trees out on
That's
the
it.
trails, right?
But then again, for those of you listening, call in, write in, convince these two clowns next to me to lead a hike. We got Tom, we got Chip. They need to lead some hikes. Relieve me of this pressure.
Well, one of the things that we're working on is, since we're in a new venue here, is it's all about scheduling and all about timing, Mike. And I'm making a commitment to you that I'll be a more active part of the club now that I have some more free time. And I say one thing, Chip. We bring this show on the road. Why don't we do one of these up on top of the mountain?
Why not?
That'd
Why
be
not?
great. That'd be great.
I think that that's something that it's in the works, and that will bring a lot of fun, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of views and clicks on the internet about that.
Oh, yes, indeed. We do live shot of the sun coming up.
I can be there, Chip.
I can be there as well.
All right, and I know Mike, of course, he'll be there.
Yes,
Oh,
indeed.
he'll be there.
So we're going to go to a visual right now, something that maybe people that are going to listen to this later on may not be able to see. We have here, and Mike, you could tell us a little bit about it. The Outdoor Club of Port Jervis has printed up hiking maps of the trails.
Yes. Yes, we have maps that are available in all sizes, 8.5 by 11. This one that Tom is showing right now is an 11 by 17, which is my preferred size of map. You see a little more detail in it than the smaller maps can afford you. But if you're interested in purchasing, we also can provide you with a 24 by 36 or even a 36 by 48 size map. Right now, based upon the new trails that are being built, some of the new extensions, I hope to finish transferring all that GPS data into a new map, which we'll publish in probably mid-October, late October. And that will include, this map currently shows about 40 miles of trail. We're adding some more woods roads into the map, as well as the new trails, and that'll reflect nearly 48 miles of trail.
Now, this map is available for free. You can
Correct.
stop here at the Army Surplus store and pick one up. We have the 11 by 14s. Where else can you pick them up around town?
They're all over, but this is the first place you can stop on the way into town. It's always great to stop in here and grab your map, and if you need some hiking gear, it's a good place to go to.
I did pick up my headlamp for the full moon hikes here at Richard's Army Surplus store.
And that's the whole point, being part of the Outdoor Club and being a small business owner here in town. We decided that not only do we sell some equipment that might be necessary for the hikers, but the use of that equipment, or that field of let me say it differently, the use of the lands up there and the development that you guys have put into it, it's a natural fit for a small business to say, hey, we want you guys to make sure that what you're doing out there sustains, but it's also very popular, and we're going to support you, whether it's doing our show in here or making a contribution as a sponsor. But we want people to know that as a small business, we support people like you, Mike, and Chip, and so many others from the Outdoor Club who are out there making these trails so much fun and bringing people into our community. And when you bring people into our community, you're bringing commerce into our community. So we support you, and I know there's a whole host of businesses throughout the area that support the Outdoor Club.
Sure do.
And we're very grateful for that. So stop in. You can pick up one of these maps. Now, you can also download this map on your phone, right?
Correct. You can go to our website, ocopj.org. That's ocopj.org. And click on Maps. You'll see in the upper right-hand corner, there's a menu. Choose Maps. Go to it, and you can get it in darn near any format you want to.
And that's all free.
That's all free.
And the maps are helpful because if you're up on Point Peter or if you're up in the reservoir area and you're hiking, that map in your hand or on your phone, you can zoom right in, bring it up. And the great thing about it, if it's on your phone, is then you can also go to your GPS on your phone. Most map programs, if you have a smartphone, will show you exactly where you are on the map, and then you look at the map you have in your hands and say, okay, I'm on the red trail, I'm going to jump over to the blue trail. I know you guys have names for the trails. I call them by the colors which I see them, but nonetheless, you'll never really have an opportunity to get lost up there because the trails intertwine, and you're never too far away from either the road, a service road, or a logging road.
In fact, while I was preparing for the surgery, which was a couple weeks duration, a lot of testing, I received an email from Avenza Maps. Avenza Maps makes integrated maps, and what they want to do is take all of our data, put it into their system, which would go online for you to download their app, and it would be totally interactive to where you will always see on the map where you are in the watershed. So now that I'm in recovery mode, I can communicate with all these people. We're going to work on that extensively. I have all the data. It's just a matter of transmitting it to them and let them incorporate it in their maps.
I got to tell you, the maps that are printed are great because they really show, not only in detail, but they show exactly where the trail is. If the trail's showing a little bend to the left and you're out on the trail, sure enough, that trail is bending off to the left a little bit.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time GPSing that.
And you said that this map has been made, you made it in Adobe?
Yeah, it's actually David Kranz with the Fox and Hare. He originally started this map, and then he ran out of time when he started to build the brewery. So I took it over, and it is a massive map. It is it's, I believe, currently it's 200 and some layers. So
if anybody knows anybody about Photoshop or any graphic program, 200 and something layers on top of layers on top of layers. That's incredible. Chip, now you've had this map at your ready anytime you're in the trails?
I learned to have this map at my ready while on the trails. Correct. That is good sound advice to have always a trail map on you when you're out there in the watershed park.
Now, you can bring the map with you, but there's also maps that are available on the trails as well in the kiosks.
Yes, the kiosks all have the maps. And one thing I wanted to bring up about that is that of late I've received a lot of requests for, and this is something I've been wanting to do for a year and a half. We want to be able to bring you in. You may not be able to read a map. And Chip brings up a good point of learning how to read a map. Come on out and let us teach you how to read a map, orienteering, geocaching, all of those different things that we can teach you or show you how to do. Reading maps, it can be difficult for some people because they think of a map as being a street map. Well, our maps will tell you a lot more. This one that's currently in front of us, that we do not have the topo information in, which gives you the altitudes. We do have those maps which show you that, and we'll show you how you can read the hills and where you know you're going to be climbing or going down. It's a very handy thing to know, especially if you plan on being out in the wilderness.
No doubt about it. And you bring up a good point there, Mike, talking about being able to read a map. One of the things that impresses me so much about the Outdoor Club is the emphasis on, you have two segments of people. You have your elite bikers, your elite hikers, your ultra runners. Those guys are well served by the trails because as many trails as you have, the more you're creating, the more opportunity for them to actually craft their own little ride or their run. But you've done even more for the entry-level hiker, the entry-level biker, or even just the mom and dad who want to take their kids out for a walk. You really have made the trail system something that everyone can enjoy.
And that's something we really tried hard to do. In fact, I don't want to toot my own horn, but if you look at the most recent issue of Backpacker magazine, they have an article about my wife and I and about how we've been marking these trails. And it's something that we really stressed from day one when my wife and I got involved, was that it's not a trail just for bikers. It's not just for hikers. It's all for all levels, all activities. And we have to make it conducive for that person who doesn't know how to keep them from getting lost. It honestly is very difficult to get lost, but people can panic. They can move 50 feet off of a trail and worry about where they are. So we keep things marked in such a way that you can follow them. We try to keep the maps pretty self-explanatory, but still, there are those that have never done this before, and we see that a lot. And that's, I think, as the club, the emphasis must always be you're never the elite one person working in this particular sport of, say, biking. Think about everybody else that's out there. This is not just a bike trail. This is a trail for everybody. How do we make it work for everybody? How do we make it so that if you're out there at 9 o'clock at night, you know where you are, you know how to get back, and it's all about marking, and it's all about the maps. And that's why I think this map works better than most maps. There's not as much info in this map. It's pretty much a flat map, so you can see essentially where you are, where you can go to. It's not going to tell you that you've got a hill between here and there, but you still know it's a straight line to get there and that there is a trail to get there. And that's another reason why we're beginning to put all the woods roads onto the map. Initially, we didn't put them on there because we didn't want people confused about, oh, I see this woods road, I'm going to take it, where does it end up? Well, now we're putting it on the map so that if you are adventurous, you don't want to stay on a marked trail, you can go on a woods road. But it gives you an option of how to get out, where to get to somewhere else.
That's one of the great things I like about the trail system up there is that you can almost craft your own hike every time you're up there.
Every time.
Every time you're on the trail and you're going down the path, you might intersect another trail. Or like you mentioned, you might intersect one of the woods roads or one of the old logging roads. Yeah, go ahead, take it. But just make sure that you know that wherever you're going to go, you're going to have to reorientate yourself back to the trail you were on or get on another trail. And all trails, sooner or later, lead back to another trail, which sooner or later lead back to the road, which leads back to one of the parking lots, the parking lot where you're parked.
Hopefully it's the parking lot where you're parked.
Well, the good thing about it is even if you get back onto the road, you can always find your way back to the parking lot.
That's true. That's true. And I think Mike raised a key point about making the trail system for everyone. I had the opportunity to do a beginner hike as a guide, and families came out for this hike, and they had a great time, and it was, I believe, a success. And sometimes at the farmers market, people express intimidation, but yet they want to experience the water park and water park trail system. And they say, I don't know, but we offer guided hikes, and so we tell them, why don't you give this a shot? We'll be doing these beginner hikes, and that's something I'm going to touch on with Mike as far as further commitment with establishing some hikes. I would like to be the beginner guy, Mike.
Yep, I've got the calendar right here. Tell me the dates.
I know you do. You're ready to press the button and send it out. I know, but we'll arrange it and coordinate it. But I really do like being that intro guy to the trail system, and I think the first one that I did was a pretty good info session for people, and
we had a lot of positive feedback from it.
Thank you. And I enjoyed that thoroughly, so I think that could be a role that I can further develop for the club and for the public as a whole. Introduction to the trail system with the first one was called the Easy Hike with Chip, and I'd like to keep it on that kind of level where people aren't going to feel like they're overwhelmed with their introduction to the trails, and then they can go out and explore themselves after that. That's a great thing as well. Once they've dipped their toes in the park, they see what it's about, the explanation of the post markings, and they feel safer and more confident. They can go out on their own and venture out on their own trek like you had mentioned.
Well, given the response that we've had, especially in venues like the farmers market, or when we're doing an upcoming event we're doing is Fall Foliage on the 23rd, that we had a tremendous response last year. We had hundreds of people sign up for our email list and in discussions, and that's what I love about setting up the tent at all of these different events, is that we get to talk to the people and see what they want, which the idea came up of when there was the discussion of the Whitewater Park, no one understood what that was. Well, I wanted to make it and take it a little bit further than that. And then what Tom and Chip know as the pump track. The thought is that there's a whole area down there where a lot of people in the city are not willing to go up to the watershed.
Mike, if I may, I'll jump in here. The pump track, we're talking about the development, what's called a pump track in the Riverside Park region. We're back again here with Mike Ward, the president of the Outdoor Club, along with our good buddy Chip, an ambassador to the club. And this is, of course, Tom Fagione. We're talking about the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis and all the great activities and programming they have scheduled for the trail system, which starts up at Point Peter and continues all through the watershed area. But, Mike, we're going to touch on a subject that is something you're very excited about, and I know Chip is too, and it's something called the pump track. Maybe you could tell some of our listeners a little bit about what the pump track's about.
Certainly. The pump track, if you think of about a figure-8 track that you can ride your bicycle on, but not to do tricks, not to do jumps, but to ride and get a really, truly aerobic workout based upon the pace that you want to set. That's what this track is all about. Really behind it is the push to teach people how to ride the hills and the bumps of our watershed trails. So you can practice. You're new at it. You bring your bike down. You don't have a bike. Come on down and borrow a bike. We will have bikes that we will loan out to teach you how to ride these trails. We're going to have a beginner track. We're going to have a more elaborate track. And this is going to be down in the Riverside Park in Port Jervis. This is along the river, and that's also along the wooded area of Riverside Park. In that area, we're going to develop riding trails, hiking and riding trails in that park area within the woods without disturbing the trees, the brush, the vegetation. We're going to use the natural trails back there. The point being is that if you're new to getting out into the woods, hiking and biking, come on down to Riverside. We'll teach you how to ride the bikes on trails, be it on a dirt trail or be it back in the newly created wooded trails. This will be our introduction to getting you up onto the main trails, the 47 miles of trail that currently are under development. If you're hiking, you're not sure what it is to be hiking because you're used to walking on concrete sidewalks. Come on down. We'll take you through the woods. You'll see what it's actually like to walk on a trail in the woods along the river. And there's a lot of advantages. Port Jervis has a lot of land down there. Let's utilize that land for recreational purposes. It opens it up to a lot more activity in the area. It's a short distance away from homes. You can get down there in a few minutes. And then when you're very comfortable going down there, go on up into the main trails. But in the long range plans, we hope to have a parking lot area down there where people will be able to park their cars, use the pump tracks, get onto a trolley, a bus trolley that will take you up into the watershed park. We'll have bike racks on the front and the rear of these trolleys, so where we have just hundreds of people up in the park, you can park downtown in a parking lot. Go take your bike up into the watershed. We bring you back down. Put your bike on your car. Go into town and have a meal at the Fox and Hare as an example, or Fogwood and Fig, or Foundry 42. We've got a lot of plans for the area, and that's what I was saying earlier about things to get you two involved in. This, to you two being Tom and Chip, and anybody else that's interested is working on a comprehensive plan to really further develop the recreational activities in the area. And the watershed is our premier area, and we will never stop improving that.
Mike, the comments about the Riverside Park, the pump track, and the related activities out there sounds like a lot of fun. One of the things, and this is my personal experience on my mountain bike, and I purchased a mountain bike from TC in Milford at Action Outdoors, and or Action Bikes and Outdoors. And one of the things sometimes is a bit intimidating is riding my mountain bike up on the trails. There are some spots that those biker guys say are pretty gnarly, and I mean, the point being, we've had some professional bike riders come up and ride the mountain bike trails and have come away and say, wow, this thing is a really awesome trail. This is an awesome venue. Well, for a guy like me who's just a piker, who's not the best biker, some of those spots are pretty intimidating. I was up a couple weeks ago riding my bike, and I pushed my bike more times than I rode my bike because, there were some spots I was a little nervous on. So that pump track and learning how to operate my mountain bike properly, for a guy like me, it's perfect. And for people who maybe have a bike in their garage and, kind of bored of riding around town or, just going their normal loops, this is an opportunity for them to come out and really, get on your bike and learn how to actually operate your bike. I think of a bike sometimes like a camera. Someone buys a brand new camera. There's 1,000 features on it, and they use like 3 of them. and bikes are the same way.
Chip.
That would be me, although I am improving.
No, I agree. And I have to give T.C. Crawford credit because he's the one who introduced me to this idea of the pump track. And the minute I saw that, it just clicked. It really clicked as one way of being able to teach kids, teach adults how to ride hills, bumps, you name it. Let's get the trails down by the river. Let them ride in the woods because the vast majority of people have not been in the woods on a bike, and it's a different experience.
Now, this pump track, this isn't just a design idea that came from your head. These pump tracks are popular all across the nation.
They are. In fact, the gentleman that's going to be building the track for us, he's actually built some of the most successful tracks on the East Coast. He's developed one in every borough of Manhattan, of New York City rather, and they have been extremely successful. He has one down in West Milford. I can't remember how many dozens of tracks he's actually built. And once we get closer, we'll bring up his name. But we've been in contact with him and really committing to starting the build in February 2019.
Chip, you have a bike.
I do have a bike, Tom.
And have you explored all the nooks and crannies of the trails up in the Watershed Park?
No, I have not. I have a hybrid bike, which is rated for light trail usage. So my first biking with the trail system was on Beginner's Berm, which is over off of Res Road. And I took my bike up that way, and I experienced the trail system that capacity. And it's quite a learning experience to feel a trail under you on a bike. I did the Kona demo up at the campsite at Elks Brox, and I had an opportunity to sample some bikes that normally I wouldn't.
Now, you rode a couple bikes that were, a couple $100?
No, they were a couple $1,000, but I had a great time.
They let Chip get onto a couple, like a $3,000-$4,000 bicycle, and you came back with it?
I have a story. I don't know. The great thing about the demo was that you are able to experience bikes that probably you couldn't experience. So I got on a bike. They said, "Here, take this bike out on the trail." I did so, and leave it to Chip. And I'm leading into this because halfway through the campsite trail, I'm having a great time. It's awesome. I'm feeling what it's like to be a mountain biker on a trail, and the chain pops on me. The chain popped, and a twig lodged itself in the gear mechanism.
Not a branch, not a tree, a twig.
A twig.
A little twig.
Listen, all it takes is a twig, apparently. So here I am halfway through the trail, and I have to hike my bike back to the Kona tent where the demo starts, and I thought that was ironic. I'll tell you, very ironic, because leave it to me to have that happen.
But bringing that up, Chip, that's another reason for the pump track.
Exactly.
We want to have the experts. We want to have professionals. We want to have those who are very experienced coming down, teaching people how to ride their bikes and maintain and fix them, because it's very critical. If you're going to be going out there alone or with a small group, know how to replace an inner tube, your tire, how to put a chain back on. What if the chain breaks? How can you fix it? Just a simple tool in your pocket will fix it.
Speaking of tools and speaking of fixing bikes, but that leads right into the next point that I was going to say, Mike, is that, Chip was on the Kona demo day, rode a $10,000 bicycle, and the little chain popped off, and he didn't know how to fix it. God forbid he had a flat tire. Forget about it. You'd have probably,
I
you probably would have cut your arm off and ate it.
Probably. I mean, you know.
But that point being, though, there's something new in the trail system now that is spectacular, and it's geared 100% for mountain bike riders, mom and dad who bring their kids out to ride the trails. Tell us a little bit about some of the
it's
new
known
equipment.
as the MacGyver Toolkit. And I've got one for Chip. They'll run about $50. No, just kidding. we have bike repair stations up in the park now. The first one was donated by the New York, Port Jervis Free Library, and that was installed a couple of months ago. It's tremendous. It's made by Devo, DEVO, and they are going to be supplying us with 4 or 5 more of these stations that we're getting private donations and grants for. We're always looking for private donations just for things like this. But these stations will run about $1,500 to $2,000, and it's well worth it. You can damn near fix anything that might break on your bike. The tools are right. It's in there. The air pump is there. The stands are there. You name it, you can fix it. Now, of course, materials aren't there because there's no way we can stock materials for every bike that's out there and being made. So once again, we have one installed right now at the entrance to the campground up in Elks Rocks Park. And very shortly, we are starting to put the pads in, the concrete pads, to put one at every parking lot for the watershed. We will have some in various areas where we think that will be handy to have. We also plan on putting some downtown, probably in Riverside Park, down near the pump track, in the trails, etc.
Mike, I can tell you firsthand that I've used that Devo bike repair station at the campsite. I was up there the week or two ago on my mountain bike, and I realized one of my tires was a little low on wind, a little bit of air. And so I got this little pump that I keep in my little bike bag on the seat of my bike. And the pump, I don't think, is 6 inches long. So you can imagine, you got to hunch on over, you got to find a little stem, and then you got to pump this thing like 4 million times. I'm serious. It's not 3.9, it's 4 million times you have to pump.
It's a workout.
Oh, it's ridiculous. You get more exercise pumping the tire than if you're riding the bike. So I went to the station, and the great thing about that station is you can pick up your bike and you can hang it. It hangs right on the top end of it. And then in the station itself are all the tools that you need to get little things done. I mean, yeah, you're not going to rebuild your whole bike there, but you're going to get yourself...
But you could.
You sure could. Well, there's probably enough tools there that you could build a whole bike. But the good thing is it gets you back on the road. And so I'm like, well, there's the pump. I got to check out the pump because I'm not hunching over and pumping up this tire 4,000 times. That pump at the bike station is legit. It's 100% legit. I plugged it in, and you can keep your bike on the bike stand while you're pumping the tires. And sure enough, that pump has a great deal of pressure, and it pumped that tire up like nothing. So much so, I checked the other tire. I said, oh, I'm going to put air in this tire. I almost brought my car up there afterwards to fill up the tires. But it's really great. It's visible. It's right there. And it's visible, but it's not, meaning that it's not bright orange or pink or anything. It's, subtle green. It's very clean, and it's right there at the campsite area. So when you're going along, and if you need to tune up your bike a little bit or just make a quick adjustment, it's right there. And I want to thank the Port Jervis Free Library for that, and the Outdoor Club. And the County of Orange was involved, too, just a little bit in helping make that happen.
Yes, they were. In fact, we're trying to get a plaque made up. The company will make up plaques for us to thank those who have sponsored or contributed these.
Well, Mike, you're in the Army Surplus store right now, and you're sitting next to our Epilogue laser engraving machine. Maybe we'll make a plaque.
There you go. I'd love it.
No, but that bike, the bike repair station is just another example of so many things at the Outdoor Club, working with other groups in our community to make a positive thing happen up there. And, I get asked all the time as a local business owner and also a politician, well, it's going to be sooner or later before people start destroying things up there or leaving garbage. Mike, give us a quick report on the conditions in terms of garbage pickup and how clean the trails are.
They're extremely clean. The people that are out there are really receptive to seeing a nice area. When they do see trash, they do pick it up. We still have a few, sad to say, a few locals that like to abuse the area. We know who you are. We are watching. We are picking up after you. We're not going to let you destroy the area. There are too many people that enjoy this kind of environment, and the more that people see the cleanliness of it, how easy it is, how you feel safe in the area, the more people come and use it. And we're always in tune as to what's going on in the watershed, but at the same time, we are going to stop those issues of littering, of vandalism. We take care of it.
No doubt. That years ago it used to be a place where people would go up there and cause trouble and stuff. Now it's a place where people come up and enjoy. No doubt about it. Let's talk visibility real quick. Coming up in the next few weeks are a couple of public events that the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis will be at. Of course, tomorrow is the Farmers Market. Chip, give us a quick rundown of what you will be bringing to the Farmers Market tomorrow and how long you'll be there.
I will be at the Farmers Market between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., and we will be bringing information for the public, brochures, maps, and other assorted goodies.
Can people buy T-shirts tomorrow if they make a donation?
Yes, they can. If they'd like to do so, they're welcome to do that. They will get a T-shirt for a donation. Yes.
And memberships are
Membership
available?
applications are ready and available.
How much is the membership?
How much is a membership? Well, a single membership is $25. A joint membership is $45, and a family is $65.
I'm gonna make so $25 gets you a membership to the Outdoor Club.
Correct.
How about this? If we make it $30 tomorrow at the Farmers Market, $30 membership and a T-shirt. What do you think?
Sounds great to me.
All right, so bring $30 with you tomorrow to the Farmers Market from 10 till 2. You get $30. You get a membership. We'll get you a T-shirt and a very exclusive opportunity tomorrow from 10 to 2. You get a membership for $30. You got to mention that you heard it here. You get a T-shirt, and you're going to get a map. And Chip?
I'm happy to do what everybody finds to be very funny, but I am enjoying it. I will autograph a map personally for you.
Come by and make Chip happy. He is distressed when no one asks for his autograph.
Don't let that ink in the Sharpie go dry. So $30 tomorrow at the Farmers Market. You get your membership, you get a T-shirt, and you'll get an autographed copy of the trail map, all from the Outdoor Club. Come down and see Chip tomorrow. Mike will be there. Mike, you going to be there tomorrow?
I will be. I'll be there off and on. I just can't lift things for about 12 weeks. So Chip will be there to help set up the tent, or he'll have to set up the tent.
So just our luck. It's
I
gonna
will be there, Mike.
Just our luck tomorrow, Chip. You're going to show up, when you show up. You're going to have Mike, who's in a neck brace, and Bill Schill, who's 900 years old, setting up the tent. And you're just going to come on down and say, here's my Sharpie. Let's sign some autographs.
No, not true. Not true at all. I have been expertly tutored on how to set up the tent and the arrangement at the Farmers Market for the Outdoor Club. So that being said, Bill Schill, he's a great guy, and he's willing to help where he can and when he can. So, if he wants to help, that would be great as well. But I'm there for Mike.
Bill's not 900
and the
years
club
old.
as well.
He, just for a record, he's not 900 years old.
No, for the record, he's not.
He's not anywhere close to 900 years old.
No, he isn't. Last time I checked, no.
105, maybe.
Well, we're not going to debate that number too much because we don't want him too big. No, but Bill's been one of the great guys
Bill
that's
has
always
been
talking
tremendous.
about the Outdoor Club. So we got the Farmers Market Saturdays from 10 till 2. Also coming up, and Mike, you talked about it in our first segment. You talked about the Fall Foliage Festival.
Fall foliage, right, on Sunday the 23rd. We'll be down on Front Street the whole day.
The whole day. That's
Yeah.
a big event downtown in Port Jervis, the Fall Foliage Festival. I think it's like their 25th or 23rd annual Fall Foliage Festival.
Great
It's a
event.
Great day. Come on down. The tent will be set up. The maps will be... Chip, you're going to bring 2 Sharpies?
I may have to bring a boatload of packs of Sharpies for that one.
But the memberships will be available. And, the whole point of you guys being out in the public is, first of all, we want to let people know about the club. But also we want people to become part of the club. And all the money that is through the membership and T-shirt sales, all that money that's raised, Mike, you can talk a little bit on the legal side of things. This money just doesn't sit in a milk jar or a canister at home. This money is, the club's the real deal.
The club is the real deal. All the contributions that we get go directly to the club. No one is paid. No one receives a penny for what we do. We use all contributions, donations, grants, whatever we can muster, we put directly into the amenities of the park, be it into anything from even these repair stations. Repair stations are one thing, but we need concrete. So all the concrete is paid for with donations. The refurbishment of the bathrooms up in Elks Brox Park, that's all done with donations and contributions. We want to put animal-proof and bear-proof trash cans throughout the park. Those will come from donations. The pump track, same thing. We do fundraisers to get the money to build the pump track, develop the trails further. Because even some of the trails up in the watershed, we're going across little waterways that we must protect. It is our watershed. It is our drinking water. But we still want to be able to get trails through there. So we're building bridges. Well, bridges take material, and that material is either being donated where we can, or we have to purchase it, and that all comes from contributions. And the club is truly a 501c3 organization. We filed for it. The IRS granted us the nonprofit status, and we're using that to everyone's advantage.
No doubt about it. And that's what's great. Mike, I'm so happy to always sit and talk with you, but to know that the club is not only legitimate, and I don't mean it in terms of making sure that the money's put in the right spot, but legitimate in that this is the real deal. There's a real structure, there's a real focus and a mission, and every step along the way, Mike, as you being the president, you say this is going to happen. Well, you know what? Darn tootin', it's happened. And then the next phase comes up, and sure enough, it has happened. And that gives such legitimacy to the club and the work that your guys are doing, that when the next ambitious thing comes through, the pump track or whatever next development comes in, people in the community are going to say, hey, you know what? They have a proven track record. Get it? A proven track record.
Yeah.
They have a proven track record of getting stuff done. Sure, let's help them. Let's make this a reality. So I'm impressed with the foundation and the function of the club.
And in addition to the big projects are always exciting because they're big, they're new. But there's a lot of little things that I think that will really have a lot more impact. Things such as new signs as you come into the city off the highways. We're putting up new signs that don't simply say Elks Brox. They're going to say Port Jervis Watershed Trails and Outdoor Recreational Areas.
That's great because Elks Brox Park, nobody knows. I mean, not even the locals. You ask them, what is it, Elks Bronx? They can't even pronounce it right. They don't know what it is. But the transformation into the watershed trail system, people know what trails are. It's a name that sticks. Yeah, and people know what trails are. Mm-hmm. Trails are a big thing. I mean, the Heritage Trail now is it's going across all of Orange County. There are trails that are trying to connect and intersect between that and going up into Sullivan County, up in Ulster County. So there's a push in the region and mostly the Northeast to build these historic trails that are connected together, old rail lines. But what we have here is a unique outdoor experience that if you went to an amusement park, you're paying big fat money to get into.
Big money to get into them.
And that brings up another point. We do all of this strictly, as we've said, through donations, contributions, grants. We have not received taxpayer money to do this. And we are envied around the entire New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, who I am constantly being approached by people who want to interview us to see how did we do this? How did we do this with little to no money? And it's simply the devotion of all of our members that want to get out there and make something that works for them, that they can have fun with. But I think the primary, everyone wants to share it.
No doubt. You know, one of the roles that I have as a legislator is that I sit in committee. And next week will be our committee meetings. And what we do in committee meetings is quite simple. We bring the experts to the table and we ask them questions. How did you do this? Why do you think that? And you guys have quickly become, in the region, an expert, not only in trail building, but in the structure of the club and the focus and the future of the club. And envy is a good thing to have in that situation. Mike, I just want to, before we get going, I know Chip's got to head off to work. Mike, you got to change the neck brace. You change the dressing every 2 hours.
No, every 2 hours I stay on my neck because they really, boy, did they tear into my discs.
But I just want to thank you guys. This is our first show that
This
we
is great.
did.
First of
I
many,
love it.
Tom.
I love the
It's
idea
great.
of no
It's
commercials.
Yeah, yeah. The only commercials are going to be the little plugs we give
Yes,
wherever we
indeed.
are. So we're at the Army Surplus store today. We're going to take this on the road. I really want to do a show up on the mountain.
Oh, let's do it, Tom.
And, you know, coming up tomorrow is the farmer's market. We can't bring all the gear down tomorrow, but, you know, we can bring a phone with us and we can do a quick little maybe Facebook Live tomorrow.
Sure.
All
Come
right.
on down.
Maybe we'll catch Chip in the action of giving out an autograph.
Chip in the action. You know,
Yeah.
the next step is cameras and video.
Absolutely.
He's going to want to take pictures with everybody.
That's right.
Pictures with Chip.
Now, Chip, you know, before we let you go, the question always is, and it started a couple weeks ago, is, you know, you don't come empty-handed. Obviously, did you get the coffee today?
No, I didn't.
All right, so you came empty-handed in that regards, but you never come alone. You always have a backpack full of friends. And before we sign off, I know some of your friends are listening afar, but you brought some of your friends with you today, and they're off in the wings, and they wanted to come and enjoy our first episode of the Trail Report. Now, we used to out cue it differently in a different venue, so this one's going to be brand new and fresh. And so hopefully we could get Chip's buddies who are getting excited, chill out guys, to just tell listeners that, you know, this was the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis Trail Report. Tune in every Friday at Facebook and YouTube for the Trail Report. You think your friends can handle that?
I don't know. That sounds like a lot for the guy that I have to
All right,
in the
well, you
background
guys
there.
can talk for just a second. 1 second. All right, figure it out. Chip, the floor is yours.
Hey, yo, Tom, this is Rocky here, and, you know, this has been a great first show, and one of many, I hope. I really like where we're doing it from, Richard's Army Surplus, and, you know, you got some great stuff here, you know, stuff that I could use in the ring. Mick likes it, too.
Rock, I like that, Richards. It's an awesome place to go. Get your gear at Richards Army Surplus. And catch the trail reports, Rock. The trail reports will tell you everything about what's happening at the watershed trails.
Hey, Mick, you don't have to be so loud with me, you know what I'm saying? It ain't my ears that are bad, it's my eyes, you know, taking all those hits all them years.
Well, Rock, if you did what I said you were supposed to do, you wouldn't have got hit, kid.
All right, well, you know, we're gonna do this show, and you can tune in to, I believe, Facebook Live and also YouTube. And check out the trail reports every Friday coming from Richard's Army Surplus in Port Jervis, New York. And, you know, hey, Mick, this is awesome. You know, Paulie's in the background having a sandwich. You know, I just don't know how to explain it anymore, Mick. I'm like happy to be here. All right, so I think I'm out. I did enough time.
You did, Rock. You did good, kid. No problem.